Hi guys, welcome to Astrology and Earth Magic. I'm Jen, and today we are going to talk about a nice little aspect that's coming up. And March has just been quite a month. It's, they say in like a lion, out like a lamb, but from crazy weather patterns to travel nightmares to gas price hikes to, and that of course, that little war we have going on right now, lots of intensity going on. So we could use something a little nicer to end the month with. So it's nice to see that we have a helpful little sextile coming up on the 28th. So this is going to be Saturn in a sextile to Pluto. So yes, these are two difficult planets that we usually don't find to be helpful. But this is a nice sextile that is really going to be helpful to all of us with everything that's going on in the world. Saturn is going to become sextile to exact at the 5-degree mark of Aries, Saturn will be, and Pluto will be in Aquarius. So a sextile, if you're not familiar with it, it's an easy aspect. It's helpful and it doesn't take a lot of effort on your part. So it's a 60-degree aspect. That means it's 2 signs away. And we'll have, like I said, Saturn in Aries and Pluto in that intellectual Aquarius. So we have fire, but then that intellectual and, using your mind kind of, aspect, blending these two together. This is a very cooperative aspect. It's like having like a wingman with you when you're going out. Somebody that just gives you a little bit of a boost, that makes you feel a little bit more confident maybe, and just feels helpful. Just kind of, that helping hand, just kind of giving you a little bit of extra support. This is different. A sextile is different than a trine because a trine does take work. So a trine, you could have a grand trine in your natal chart and nothing could come of it because you do need to put in the work with a trine, where a sextile is more just that kind of helpful. That's just going to be there for you, like to give you that helping hand. Like I said, this can be in the form of an opportunity. So I've talked about recently in my videos, if you want to check back on some, it's about keeping your eyes open to those open doors, to those surprise opportunities that could come your way. So, with this aspect, that could be almost kind of like that enter sign that's like, okay, well, I'm not sure what I'm looking for, and they're saying that look for these opportunities, look for those open doors. Well, this can be, like I said, that helping hand, that thing that just guides you, maybe takes your hand and leads you through that door. Just shows you that enter sign right there. It could be almost could feel like a final examination, like you were, if you're at school and you're given that sneak peek of the answers that are on the test, so you know what to expect, so you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, and you just have that confidence, like, ooh, I know this, I got this. So if you worked hard and put the effort in, this is what Saturn likes, and it will, if you put that effort in up to this point, this can really help kind of transform your future. So this is Saturn, which likes putting in that work. It likes you to be serious about something, and likes, especially Saturn and Aries, is taking that initiative and really making those building blocks to have a good foundation to build upon, to really transform those ideas. See that Pluto and Aquarius, to transform those ideas into realities, to transform those desires into, maybe what your life is going to look like, just to kind of, like I said, to be that open door that you can walk through that will give you that life that you're heading towards. Just need to know where to look, and this can help. So if you've been ambitious, if you've been focused, if you've been, that steady force moving forward, now is a time that you can feel rewarded. Because, Pluto is kind of being that wingman to Saturn. And it can feel like it's almost a compulsion. It's like, so if usually maybe you put things off a little bit, you could almost feel that like you're compelled to do this. So the open door could not only be the open door, but it could be that extra little push, that, you know, that fire under you that just gets you going, that normally you'd be like, oh, I'll do that a different time. And I just don't feel like, I just like, is this really going to work out? Why am I going to put this effort in? This is going to kind of be that boost that's going to give you that initiative to put that effort in so that you can transform yourself. And so you can begin that transformation. So you can walk through that door that's going to start it for you. Like I said, these are slow moving planets. These are slow aspects. So this is kind of like that beginning. So it's a beginning and something that you're going to build towards, but it is going to be that thing that is going to be that boost. That's going to be, like I say, with these open doors, that's going to be like, okay, now I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to move into this room, and I'm going to then, you know, conquer this room and make my building blocks in here, and then move on and just start building towards my future. So I kind of also look at this like it's the movie Close Encounters, if you've seen that. With like that compulsion, that Pluto compulsion being in there, and all this, you know, with everything that's going on with things coming out about extraterrestrial aliens, 3-Eye Atlas passing by. It makes me think of the movie Close Encounters. Again, if you haven't seen that, the people that were drawn, they felt compelled to, first of all, make this, you know, shape. And then when they, you know, that wasn't enough, they had to find where the shape was, and they see it's Devil's Tower, and they are compelled to go there, and they find out that this is where this alien life was like drawing them to, because they were supposed to, you know, one girl gets her child back that was, you know, taken by the aliens, and then he decides to go with them. So it's almost like their life purpose. So they see this and this compulsion to make this Devil's Tower shape, and then they see what it is, so they're compelled to go there. So this, you know, might feel a little bit like that, like you're compelled to do something that is just like there's something in you that's just telling you to do it, and you want to follow those instincts, because these instincts, this open mind, is what's going to kind of help guide you. And I've said also in past videos, like really look at your dreams, look at your subconscious and what your subconscious telling you, what kind of glimpses is it giving you, fears that you have to work through that, you know, you might be able to then move on to the next step. So those of you that have angles in these early fire signs, air and fire signs, you know, we have air and fire. Also, Jupiter can impact these influences. So if you have, I have Jupiter at 0 degrees of Capricorn, so that's not going to be as impactful if you have Jupiter, say, at, you know, the early degrees of any of the fire signs, or like Aries or Aquarius, or, you know, the other fire or air signs. If you do have your angles there, you are going to get this a little more impactful to you. So you really want to keep your eyes open, but anybody can still feel it, but that's going to be a little bit more telling, a little bit more impactful. So another nice energy that's happening around this sextile is the sun is in a semi-sextile to the North Node. This is at the sun at 7 degrees of Aries, and the North Node is at 7 degrees of Pisces. So there we have that mutable energy that we're pulling in, and that going with your intuition. So that North Node is telling you, you know, that's what you have to move towards, going with your gut, going with that intuition, in order to see those open doors, see those opportunities, to grasp those opportunities that you just have to feel in your gut when it's right. And again, shows us, you know, that you need to have that drive. The sun is our drive. The sun is our life force that is driving us to go towards that opportunity, to find success with the opportunities that are presented to us. And this is a more subtle, the semi-sextile aspect. It's not quite as impactful, but to some people, a lot of astrologers do use it all the time. I don't use them too much, but when you see it in relation to other things that are going on that can really just emphasize another aspect that's happening, I like to bring them in. And this, because that's why I bring this one in, because it's happening along with this Saturn-Pluto sextile. And I think it will have that more encouraging effect to it. So that more like that push, that drive, that, like I say, that life force and what we feel like we're destined for in this life. This is going to push us towards that, to give us that drive, that I just want to move towards it. So we are going to just go, and that initiative to start just doing what we need to do to look for those opportunities and grasp those opportunities, and instead of letting them get away. It urges us to be persistent in our goals, but also to allow ourselves some fluidity. Like I said, with that North Node that is now currently in Pisces, you want to be fluid. So are you on the right track? So if you're thinking about, oh, well, this is what I've always wanted to do. Well, now maybe you should be a little more fluid with your goals. Maybe something that was so important to you a few years ago isn't as important now. Maybe they're kind of like, as we grow and mature, we start having different interests, and maybe even fine tune the interests that we have. Can you not do that, please? Pickle wanted to just say hi. He's hungry, so he's not happy that I didn't feed him first. So what you want to do is really, think about, is this still the direction I want to go, or do I want to be a little more fluid about this? And are you on the right track, or should you start moving in another direction? Should you start floating another way, perhaps? Is your vision of the future the same as it has been, or is it changing? How do we want to transform our lives? How, are we seeing our future? Are we seeing it the same way? What opportunities can be given? Like, say, for instance, a couple years ago, I was at a job, and I've talked about this a few times, and I was at a job that, it was good, and I loved all the people that I worked with, but and I always said, I'm probably just gonna, end up my life here. And then an opportunity came up. I took it. I have a different job. It's got a lot more positivity at it. So it's these open doors. And it's like, oh, I'm so glad that I didn't just, run out until I retired at this other job, because this new opportunity just seems so much more beneficial for my mental health and just in general. It's just, so you want to look for those doors. Don't put yourself in a box and say, well, this is my plan. Sometimes your plans can change a little bit. So you want to be fluid about that. So how can you use your ideas, innovations to further your goals, and the innovations that are going on around the world now? So for example, AI is huge. It's ever developing, and it's an ever developing resource that we can use. And I'm already starting to use it. A little bit. So if you look at the thumbnail that I'm going to have on this video and other ones that I've been putting up lately, you can just ask it for anything, and then you're not, and it'll create any picture that you want. And then you're not worrying about any copyrights or anything like that. And it gives you like almost exactly what you're looking for. You can fine tune. And there's lots of different things that you can ask, and it just comes right up. So AI can be really helpful in that way. But I still like to check other sources too for information, especially because you want to make sure that, it's not, not totally confident in it yet, that it just is pulling from one source. So you want to just get everything. So it doesn't mean it's true what it's telling you. So you want to make sure you have, all your ducks in a row and everything. But it is handy in a lot of different ways. And I know a lot of people at my work use it. Gives you a lot of good ideas. It gives you, like I said, the pictures, not worrying about copyright. things like that. So, and so something like that, it just can give you a little more of like just like a confidence builder. It could just make you feel like, ooh, I did this. This is fun, and just it's exciting to be evolving yourself with these innovations that are happening around, instead of just being fearful of them. Kind of go with the flow. Just go with them, and let them guide you. On the 16th. So going back a little bit, on March 16th, back to talking about aliens and other worldly sources. Three-Eye Atlas was at its closest approach to Jupiter. So it's this otherworldly object that came in, entered our solar system, and was pretty much right on our ecliptic, like moving along with our planets. So it seems like there's some kind of meaning that it was bringing. It was bringing us maybe these utopian ideas for a better future for mankind. Is it, did it sprinkle ideas and knowledge and things like that? How did it get here? Where did it come from? Is it ever going to come back? Most likely not. But it's just strange the way it just came in right along our ecliptic. Neptune is also involved in the sextile that we're talking about today with, because it is still in a pretty close conjunction with Saturn, and it's moving ever closer to a conjunction with, or to that sextile, its own sextile with Pluto. And that's not going to be exact until later July, in late July, when they're both actually in their retrograde phase. So Neptune and Pluto will both be retrograde when they become in that exact sextile. So this is all about evolving. So this is going to take time, like I said, and everything's going to work together to build and to evolve. And it's going to take time to just cultivate your intuition, really work on that, like I said in prior videos, to really open your mind, to get deep into your subconscious, and just be more open-minded and be more aware of what's going on inside of you, and what your deepest, darkest thoughts are. The Neptune-Pluto sextile will take place shortly after Uranus sextiles Neptune and then trines Pluto, and that's going to be in mid-July. So we continue to build along, and we have these key moments and these key things that are going to pop up, kind of like an energy, almost like an electric energy that's going to kind of be that resurgence, especially around mid-July. And then we have, at the end of July, we have our second eclipse season of the year. So lots going to be going on there, and we're just getting started. This whole year has a lot going on. I think a lot of it's going to peak in July. So after you make that turn, because these outer planet aspects are going to be transformative turning points in our lives that we might not even realize until after the fact. And again, this is why I say, look for those open doors, look for those those surprise opportunities to come your way. And it will, after you make these turns, everything, the path before just kind of falls away, because we're going to be moving forward, and you can only move forward, and we're not going to be going back anymore. It's not going to be looking at the past. It's going to be moving forward with such new innovations, such new things coming around, so much new knowledge that's going to change the way we think, that are going to change the way maybe we govern in society and everything. And lastly, we have Venus and Uranus closing in on a semi-sextile as well. So this is about really being spontaneous and again, open to those new opportunities. There's so much happening right now that is telling us, keep your eyes open. In astrology, we look for things happening in threes. We see that threes coming up, that is just like, there's going to be opportunities coming up. Don't let them get away. You want to go and grab them. Like, that's that brass ring. Grab at it and let it lead you. You want to be spontaneous, open to those new opportunities, especially if it's involving something or somebody that you love as well. You know, you want to keep your mind open and look for those subtle clues. You know, how will this affect all of us in the coming months, and what should we, you know, be looking for in the current state with this Saturn Neptune sextile? How work, idealism, and it is going to work together to lead to this profound turning point. There's going to be that bend, that we take that turn, and the path again behind us is going to fall away. So this turning point is going to be, again, one that we don't go back from. So you want to develop your mind so that you're making the right decisions. You want to keep that open mind and make sure the doors you're going through are the good opportunities and not falling backwards. Uranus will show you where it falls in your chart, where to be spontaneous. And the North Node shows us where we want to aim. So, you know, this might not be, you know, this is where the North Node is for us now. This is where it's kind of giving us that destiny that's going to happen now, not what's destined for us in our birth charts, but what's going to help us in the current moment. So when you're looking at transits, you're looking at what's happening now and what I need to reach for now that is going to give me that destiny that is shown to us and promised to us in our natal charts if we work towards it. So let's go through all the signs real quickly and see what you should be looking for that could maybe give you a little hand. So like I said, the Saturn Neptune sextile, that blending together of idealism and work can lead to that turning point. So where do we want to put that in? Where's that Uranus falling in, where we want to be spontaneous, and then the North Node, where do we want to have our focus and where do we want to aim? So for Aries rising, your first and 11th house will work together the way you put yourself out there and network. So you want to be spontaneous, even with money. If you feel maybe like a new outfit or something like that will maybe boost your confidence, and maybe just kind of you'll feel better about yourself. If you feel better about yourself, other people will see it and they will look at you differently. So if you're out networking, it'll give you that confidence boost that can really help with that, to make friends and start making those connections that could really help you. Your goal right now is to heal any bad karma that you have going into this. So if you have things that you feel are holding you back because you didn't quite do things the way you should have, or just things that are holding you back even from the past, you want to kind of work through that right now. So that is your aim. You want to work through keeping in touch with what your subconscious is telling you as well. And that's the key to carving your path forward. If you're an Aries rising, be sure to spend some time alone. This is very important because you are going to be doing a lot of networking and you're going to need that time to decompress, and you want to maybe take a walk in nature, meditate, something that makes you feel like that you can just decompress, put your mind somewhere else before you get back out there and start working again, and even gives you some good ideas and some good thoughts on what you can do. So Taurus rising, it's working with those maybe a little bit less fortunate, maybe those in maybe some unsavory places, hospitals, prisons, those type of things. That can be gratifying because in this, the kind of social working can help people that may have been forgotten or ignored, and it could really help boost your own self because you're doing this for people that might not have a voice, that might not have an outlet. Maybe your aim here is to get them into a group setting. You see that in Tunnel to Towers, where they have these I think they used to be hotels or something that they're building into places where people that have problems and otherwise could be homeless and that, they go there and they live and they have a community that they're building up. I see this in with Taurus rising, and maybe our aim here is also can be personal. So if it is an addiction or something that's holding you back, find a support group. Maybe go online and see if it's alcoholism, it's an AA meeting or something like that. Maybe to start really getting out there and connecting with other people that are going through the same things that you are, that have the same demons, can be very healing to yourself. It can be really hard putting yourself out there. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you don't want to admit to yourself that you have a problem. And you may be even introverted, where I don't want to go, but sometimes just being there with these people, even if you don't say anything, you're hearing their stories and it's making you not feel so alone and not feel so different than everybody else. And then showing those around you who you are can really be taking that mask off, and the struggles can be helpful to other people as well. Your own struggles can be beneficial to other people because you're sharing it with each other. So that's Taurus. So if you are a Gemini rising, we again see getting together in groups. It can be maybe a religious group, perhaps a book club, a social or a study group in a school, or maybe even a higher education type thing or an adult education type thing, getting together in a study group, even doing something fun together, like maybe Bible study, like calling Bible study, reading from the Bible, or even, if say you're interested in astrology and you start doing that with a friend, or whatever you're interested in, maybe having a friend or somebody that you can do a group with can be even more fun and push you a little bit harder and be a little bit more beneficial, because you're hearing what other people have to say about it. So it's giving you those different ideas and different outlets. So this can really boost your current career as well, because this could be something that you're learning that could help you with that. So maybe if you are getting into a new topic at work, and you aren't really understanding it, getting into a group that can help you, and they, kind of bounce ideas off each other and bounce knowledge off each other, can be really beneficial as well. Also taking some online courses, and things like that. But also, you want to remember that your focus may change, and you may want to try something new in self-care or self-healing. So you could be, maybe looking at something completely different, a different kind of career that you could be looking at, and really get in deep in like a more spiritual healing, something a little bit different, and some way to help somebody else out in that way. So that's if you're a Gemini rising. So if you're a Cancer rising, you could be working with death in a way, maybe wills, helping someone write their will, or things that have to do with afterlife planning, doing it for yourself, doing it with you and your spouse, maybe even rebuilding your retirement, looking at building a retirement plan, looking at, life insurance, things like that, things that aren't really that fun to look at and admit that you might need it someday. But this could be something within a job as well. So they could be giving you these opportunities for retirement programs and things like that you might really want to get into. So that could be really beneficial to get involved in these plans, even if you're young, just to have those afterlife plans, just really get things kind of in order in your life, and it kind of takes a little bit of stress off. This goal could also be to start working maybe with new online innovations, maybe trying different things online, like I said, with the AI, trying different things in that way. Also tapping into spirituality, even travel. Maybe book a religious retreat, really just kind of delving into something. And if you're having issues that, maybe with death or accepting death, kind of going for a little more spirituality, learning about a little more spirituality, and really immerse yourself into it can really help kind of get your mind going somewhere else and teaching you to use your mind in different ways that can help work through kind of these negative thoughts. If you're a Leo rising, you want to really find a partnership or a new love, maybe at school, church, or even on a vacation. So, something, maybe if you're, again, taking some adult ed classes, maybe you'll find somebody there that, you just start, look for those open doors, look for those opportunities, let yourself shine. You're Leo rising, you want to have all eyes on you. So you want to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to stand out at work, let's say be proud of your accomplishments and, don't let them go unnoticed. This can, again, lead to something further. It can lead to maybe traveling for work or given an opportunity to travel for work or, who knows what it could lead to. But that's what you want to, or to meet somebody special at work or, again, gives you that opportunity to meet people, to get to know people, and to boost your career in that way, because you're really kind of letting the sun shine on you and pointing out the things that you're doing, which shows confidence, and it can really help. You don't want to, if your goal is to get over your anxieties, your fear, your unworthiness, it's, those things that are holding you back, these can really help if you just point it out and, I'm proud of myself because of this. You want to point out your positives and not your negatives. Don't overthink it, just do it. You'll be surprised at how you are received to others. So be that Leo that you are and take the lead, really. So if you're a Virgo rising, you tend to overthink things. You know how Virgo can be. You could be overly self-critical. You could maybe even be overly critical of others and nitpicky and that type of thing. So the overanalyzing can really take you into a dark place because you're focused so much on negatives. So if if you're having those mental health issues, if you're having a lot of anxiety, if you're just not feeling right, it could be because you're overthinking things and you are putting too much pressure on yourself to be perfect, to be something. And sometimes that's just impossible. And you just have to just be okay to just be okay. So you may just need to get away, take that plunge, maybe I'm going to just take a week off from work and I'm gonna go to someplace, like say Sedona, which is where we're going this summer, and it's supposed to be that place that just opens your mind up, and it has that effect. It's on a lot of people. Really excited to see that. So maybe something like that, you feel like, I just need some kind of spiritual intervention, but screw it, I'm gonna go fly out there. So do something spontaneously without overthinking it can really, just taking that plunge. A support system also is key. And this could be that chance to, again, meet somebody that will change your life and your relationship goals. So maybe on some kind of, if you go on a vacation or you just kind of let yourself feel better about yourself, you're gonna let people in. So don't be self-critical. So if you are a Libra rising, it's all about getting creative. And this can be getting creative with somebody that you love, like your partner. So do something together. What is it that you guys do well together? So this could actually be very beneficial if you start putting your heads together and saying, you know what? We make a great team when it comes to this. So, maybe it's, writing something together. So maybe, you work through a lot of problems and you say, let's put this down, and maybe it could help somebody else. So maybe do some writing together, or just, do something that brings that spark back. And maybe just encourage others, by design, by something creative, maybe make something, together, food preparation, and then invite others to enjoy it as well, so they can kind of, you know, you're giving out these creative juices to everybody else. It can help with any issues that you might be having, again, with your mental health, or a loss that you could have had faced. So maybe you guys have worked through some losses, and you could help another couple that might be having some issues. Sometimes if you go through a very significant loss, it's really hard to come back from. So that could really, it could really help if you help others kind of put that out there, put it in writing, and you know, maybe online or even something like that. Also, to just really, if you're having some chronic issues, some chronic sicknesses, or mental health issues, you want to look towards alternative medicine for that as well. So maybe, you know, try and find a balance between regular medicines and alternative medicines to maybe feel a little bit better if you're having a lot of problems that don't seem to be going away the normal or natural way. So if you're a Scorpio rising, are you working from home, or do you want to make it, you know, so that you can work from home perhaps? So maybe working from home keeps you from putting yourself out there. Maybe you're looking for a relationship, and because you are home all the time, you're not meeting people the way you would if you were in a job, if you were going somewhere for work every day, and it's keeping you from meeting that special someone, for instance. So maybe take a chance, join, because where all this falls, join a church group or some kind of religious group that can have you socializing a little bit more, putting yourself out there a little bit more. Even some adult ed courses, and you can meet maybe that love of your life if you aren't at home all the time, if you put yourself out there, if you're not so withdrawn, and kind of in your own head. Scorpios can tend to be in that dark place, but once they're out there, there's something intriguing about a Scorpio that kind of draws people to them. So when you put yourself out there, you will be noticed, and you just have to be open to that. So if that's your goal, to find a life partner, but you don't know where to look, maybe joining some kind of religious group or something to that effect, a book club, that will really benefit. If you're a Sagittarius rising, local things, tag sales, craft fairs, even book clubs, again, what fun things are going on in your community right now? Are they having, you know, farmers markets, something that maybe you can sell a craft at? It could be your chance to really change your everyday life, maybe even change your job, change what you're doing on an everyday basis. Is your goal to work again from home, or you know, you want to get out in your community and start kind of hobnobbing? A lot of everything that's going on does go to really that networking, and finding connections with other people can really help open doors for you once you start meeting people. So you'll know when you're drawn to somebody that they could be that person that's going to give you that opportunity. So, you know, you're social, you're Sagittarius rising. So use this to your advantage, get out there and just be social and look for those opportunities that may come your way that could really transform from your everyday mundane, going into work, doing the same thing every day, to something that is more fun and passionate for you. If you're a Capricorn rising, turn your home into profit. So turn your skills into maybe a new job. And, you know, are you good at handiwork perhaps? Are you good at decorating, cleaning, organizing, doing those household things, maybe housekeeping, or other talents that you might have that could help in your community, people that are in need of this kind of stuff. Like, you know, start, like I organize for a living, so I'm going to put this all over the place. So try turning this into a way to make money. Look at the things you're good at, the things that just come naturally to you. Put an ad in a local paper, in a neighborhood forum. They have lots of neighborhood forums online that you can get involved in, that you could say, look, if anyone's looking for this, give me a call. You know, put your card up there, put your cards, you know, make up business cards. They're really cheap to make a bunch of business cards up and stick them at, you know, different grocery stores. I know they have cork boards that you could put your cards up at. Put your name out there, put your picture out there, and put out there what you can do to help people and make their lives easier. An opportunity could be right there in your neighborhood that could change your life. If you're an Aquarius rising, again, step outside your comfort zone and, put yourself out there. Like I said, Aquarius sometimes like to kind of sit in the background. They, are more of kind of like on the outside, kind of, that's that Saturn in them that kind of just pulls them away. Aquarius sometimes, they don't want to be out in the community. They don't want to, because they might feel a little bit like the outsider, but, get out there and be your different self. Be you and put it out there, and maybe people will be drawn to you. Again, different ways to make money within your own community. Maybe like you're into astrology and you want to start, it's like, people might think I'm weird. Who cares? Go out there and be you, and people will be drawn to you. Even have a garage sale and then put cards out, like say, again, if you're an astrologer and you like doing astrology, have a craft fair, but have some things that might show or have a tag sale, have some people that show people what that you do. And if they're interested, they'll be like, "Ooh, I'm intrigued by this," and then you can get into a conversation. Just selling things that you have around your house. Selling things can help you make money from things that you have at home. Just don't throw stuff away. You want to find opportunity in the things that you have. Even say a grandparent's house, a parent's house, if they've passed on and you look at their stuff like it's just crap and it's all this collectible stuff that's, oh, this is so 70s and nothing to do with it, could be worth a lot of money. So you want to look into that. These could be collectibles passed down from generation to generation that can be worth something. You would be surprised at what people are looking for nowadays. So take a look at what you have and, see what you can get for it. Finally, we have Pisces. And so you love to help. You are compassionate. You are empathetic. So these other, people that, again, like we talked about before, that people might not want to help, that kind of shy away from and just kind of like ignore homeless people, like people in prison. These can be people that maybe you reach out to try and help. You have that empathetic ear. You have just that way about you that sees the good in people, even when other people might not see it. It can help reform them. It can help show them that you care and give them something to live for, give them something to feel good about. You're highly intuitive as well, and you let that lead you. You let that be your steersman, your intuitiveness, that compassion and that empathy towards other people, and your adaptability to what, again, what people might call unsavory. That might be your calling. That might be what you're meant to be. So look for those opportunities. And like I said, if you're not fearful and you feel good about it, let that lead you. So again, you want to look for everybody out there. You want to look for those subtle pushes. Take those chances and keep your mind open to those opportunities. Look for that blinking light over the door that says enter here. And you'll know it, you'll feel it. Let your mind open up to these new experiences so that you can change your life. And it can really help put you on the path to a destiny that you've never imagined that you could be. This could seem like something that I've always fantasized about that. And now it could actually you could start making it into a reality, something that seems so far-fetched. You never know. So you want to give it a chance. You want to look for those opportunities to come your way. So I want to thank you all for checking in every time any of you guys watch my videos. I appreciate every single one of you. It helps boost the channel with everything. So if you do like this video, if you think it can help somebody else, definitely spread the word. Let somebody else know. And let's get it all out there so we can help grow together. So I hope you gained a little bit of info, a little bit of insight into what could be happening. And if you did, please leave a comment. I love to hear your comments, whether they're good, bad, whatever. I just like to hear, you know, or what you'd like to see in a video coming up. So where do you want to look for new opportunities? Where do you see things kind of building in the world around us? I'd love to hear from you guys. So good luck with all your endeavors, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.